Um, so just getting acclimated to the environment, working alongside a set of people every time, and just sitting at their computer and watching how they go through the programs. This is what they do. This is why we do it. Reasoning behind it. So I've been sitting with each team member a day during the week and learning everybody's different styles and just kind of getting that rounded off
I
perspective.
do this because of that, and I do that because of this.
And you can
Which
kind
is good because you get a handful of those. Then Sterling does it this way because of
absolutely.
all these. So that's good.
And you can kind of see all these people have come from different backgrounds, but within the hospital environment. And so one of the purposes in forming the entire team is to have different mindsets from different backgrounds, so we can have different problem solving
Sure. Perspectives.
perspectives. And so to be able to sit with different people and just kind of see how they think through the process was pretty cool. And then lots of education. Monday I actually started official online education process, and it's just kind of, a lot of it is rehash of what I've learned, but seeing how it applies specifically to the job and stuff.
That makes difference.
That
It does.
Yeah, it does. It's like wow. And so now I'm discovering there's a whole nother world in the hospital that I was just oblivious to. It's just crazy. It's pretty amazing. And so just kind of see how the difference that we make is, you know.
Are you renewing your mind in the hospital?
Yeah,
Oh,
exactly.
neat.
It's crazy. Who? I didn't know it applied there. it's only supposed to apply in church or something, you know. And you set the boundaries from 8 to 10, or 10 to 12. But yeah, so just looking at things from a different perspective, why we, you know, some decisions are made and you think, how's that? You know, yeah, but there's a whole lot more in the factor that you just are oblivious to. And so, but how we can take a case and just by changing a couple wording, which isn't false, but it helps you to capture exactly what you're doing to take care of that patient. Like you got a patient coming to the hospital and they come in for chest pain, but you can also see that they have a history of diabetes or some other contributing factors that kind of make, if you do get chest pain, even more worse of an issue because you have some other contributing factors. And
Sure.
so if you are a physician treating that and you say, I'm just going to treat the chest pain, you're really treating all those symptoms because you have to stabilize the entire system. But if the physician doesn't necessarily document that, hey, patient come in with chest pain, also diabetic and all these other things, then the weight of the case, the heaviness of the case isn't as heavy as it could be if you don't include those other pre-existing factors. And so that if we go in and say, hey, but this patient was this, and that means they're more of intensive a person than a healthy person that just came out of nowhere with chest.
Sure.
So write that in your notes, physician, so that we can classify that case as a higher case, and we can take a $5,000 paying Medicare case up to a $10,000 or $12,000 by capturing that and helping the physicians along. Because they're training in a specific focus, and there's a lot of people out there, you know, they're getting them out. So we can come back from another perspective before the thing is closed out and just say, hey, make this change, make this change. And then if they agree, they can refuse it, you know. And so because some of them think, well, you're just trying to bleed the system or whatever, you know. And so long as we are doing our part to try to capture that, we've documented. We take what they've already wrote, represent it to them, and say, hey, you see the picture here?
Sure.
And so it helps to have that outside perspective. And so they can agree or disagree, but we can take, it's pretty amazing. This company, this individual pocket, if you will, is in operation in other hospitals, but we're first time getting it. It's only been operating in a year in there. And it's like busted out of the gate they see how the profit margins are. And
going up.
Yeah, we've already in the millions made a difference within 1 year. So everybody's like, whatever these guys need, give it to them. You know, they need supplies, they need more staff. You know, so I'm part of that growing process as well. And then we're implementing a whole new computer system hospital-wide. It's called Allscripts, where everything is converged into one system rather than we used to have to go to 3 or 4 different systems, get the physician's history and physical over here, get labs over here, get an x-ray over here, log in into a bunch of different programs. Now everything's going to be centralized into one location, which means
Convenient.
it is going to be convenient because I could operate from home. There'll be no charts to look in, you know. I can do everything from home. which is a
not having to travel.
I'm already going to Golf Breeze here. That's my new location. But it would be even sweeter when I don't even have to go home. Just have a computer desktop and do everything online. But that also...
you misspoke. Computer laptop.
Yeah.
Go to the pier.
Yeah, even better, yeah. Yeah, it's unlimited, the possibilities. But they keep delaying the go live because they're having to build it, critique it, and work it, you know.
I'd rather wait another month and have it right than pull it today and then...
Absolutely, which is not a problem, but I'm transitioning right to be able to learn with them as we take this new venture on, you know, so it's just kind of cool. And so that's pretty much it, man, just learning it, you know, and keeping my perspective, not getting overwhelmed when you get to a new job is you immediately realize how much you don't know.
Mm-hmm.
And so that can be overwhelming, but taking those thoughts captive and like, nah, I'm coasting through this, man.
Exactly.
These doors were knocked down for me. I can't mess it up. I just do what I need to do to try and learn and but other than that, I don't need to worry about anything. It's going to work out. And so this evening, I just want to review some notes and things that I've taken down and just try to capture in my mind. That way, I'm not trying to remember, what was it? Oh, yeah. You know, and just be able to just zoom right on in and focus on other details. And
it'll make a difference.
Eat this thing up.
Mm-hmm. Right, and you'll be able to a couple of things. You'll be able to truly excel, but you'll be learning a new thing, but learning along with people who already have a background in it, and the flexibility. How wonderful is that you're able to be here in Golf Breeze, you know. Mm-hmm. That was part of my deal with going from Keller Williams to Keith is, I was like, there's a big difference, being 5-7 minutes away.
Mm-hmm. It is big difference on your sleep or what you can do. Get up and meditate.
Seriously,
exercise even if we wanted or whatever.
All the above. Just being able to go right over there, right around the corner. I'm excited for it, man. I'm excited for it. So that sounds like a big change, but that sounds like it's going to be a really beneficial change. So I'm happy for that. Do they have an estimate on when you'd be able to work at home? Beginning of the year?
That'd probably be at least, the working at home thing is, it'll probably be a little bit down the road, maybe a year. So that's a good estimate. Because I'm getting established, and then when I have to prove my credibility, like my numbers high and all that kind of stuff. And then, but it is said by the director that there is the possibility that we could do that with this type of program. So it's a projected idea. We don't know 100% because we're new in that place too, but definitely can be done with this new program. So.
And it sounds like you're able to help a lot of people out.
Mm-hmm.
Again, change perspective.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Not that there was an ill intent, but being able to word something.
Yeah. Well, it's so crazy that this system is in place and how they're doing that. And somebody saw that because just a few more minutes on the background of this. When I was a mechanic for an RV business, I could spend time troubleshooting a problem, and I may go approach it this way, I may approach it that way, may approach it this way, and I can spend an hour to 2 hours on something that the manual or the book, the pay rate book says you only get 15 minutes to troubleshoot this. Mm-hmm. But I had to move the customer's junk out of the way, had to clean something that they didn't, and do a little maintenance, and then after I cleared all that, then get to the problem. But I can't necessarily charge the customer for all those inconveniences. The book says we charge this for this, and so on amount of time. Now, if you can begin to be creative and find another code that says additional diagnostic time because of blah blah blah, you know those numbers and those codes and then you can stack those things up and then justify why you're charging and try to get your time, your accounted time for. Well, that's all they're doing here. Mm-hmm. This physician is a little bit more this patient is a little bit more complicated than the average because they have these other things going on. So let's capture that. Let's get reimbursed for what we're doing for at the time, invested in it. And so it's like closing the door. Get a draft coming in here. Mm-hmm. And it's so cool. So I can relate to it it makes so much sense because I've wasted a lot of time diagnosing and we didn't get paid for, and so I'm excited about that, to be able to do that, to come alongside the physicians, because it also makes their profile better, because someone else is tracking those numbers of the types of patients and how accurate their diagnosis, whether they come back a week later for the same thing. You
Right.
know? And so when we're capturing that additional information, it helps to put a bigger picture as to the complexity of the case and what else we need to do and why we're charging them, why they may come back because they're non-compliant, they don't listen to. So it helps everybody. It helps financially the hospital, helps the physician look better on record as to taking care of more intense patients. And so
Yeah, that sounds
a whole nother world that I didn't think about, that I'd ever think. I never thought of being in an office anyway. The only thing I'm getting used to, which is not a problem, is having to sit. I'm used to like running the hallways, so I'm antsy a little bit. But what I've started doing this week is for 15 minutes or 10 minutes, I'll get up and jog, and that kind of burns down the restlessness, you know. And I go to the office and I can sit here for a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
The muscles aren't.
Well, can't you get up once an hour and walk for 5 minutes?
Yeah,
or something?
yeah, I can. Yeah, it's just learning when to do it and how to do it, and then learning in the office.
Yeah, I had.
Hey, put some creamer in that if it's too rough, man.
No, that's exactly what I don't want it. No. The rougher the better for me. That you know, working in the kitchen, you know, you're back and forth, serve, back and forth, you know, And we had 2 separate kitchens, which were, you know, 200 yards away from one another. So I worked in both kitchens, so I could travel back and forth, you know, several times in a day. Anyway, I know what you mean. You know, now I sit there in front of a computer the lion's share, and then go drive to show a house. You know, I mean, it is nice. You know, you walk around and do those different kinds of things, but you know, my sitting in front of a computer time is, you know, skyrocketed as opposed to, you know, what you physical stuff that you do working in the kitchen. So I at least have that perspective there. It's a different one, but I'm good with it. I'm 100% good with it. I enjoy it.
Yeah, no, for years we beat our bodies up.
Yeah.
Gotta
It's
take
like
our mind to
work smarter, not harder, man.
Exactly.
It does. It absolutely makes sense. So I have no problem with that, man. I have no problem with that at all.
I text David. He was excited to be here, but he may have felt it was mean that this is new to him. He probably
Slept in.
Yeah.
Did Pete say anything?
Pete is out of town this weekend.
Oh, again.
Yeah, I think it was this weekend that he was. Oh yeah, no, last week he was in prison. This week he went to South Florida to visit his family that he was going to when coming back from Puerto Rico, but he was too exhausted for the trip to see them. So
I could
but
understand.
he called me personally and told me that.
Okay, that's good. That's good. Well, I'm excited to hear from David if he's able to come, but if not, that's fine also. I get it.
Hey, I thought we might try something. I was hoping David would be here. It's this meditation thing, maybe for 10 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And I found this app. It's called Jesus Words Meditation. I figured maybe we could do it for 10 minutes. And then I've got these notebooks out.
I did see the pads. I wasn't sure if that was you or the kids.
That was me, just in case something came to our mind somewhere in the process. But there is a spot at the end of this meditation where it's deliberately dedicated to writing notes, or however it works if you want to capture something before you lose it.
Mm-hmm. I think it's always wise to write it when you have it.
Yeah. And so I figured we just try. I was specifically thinking of David in mind to give him some ideas
Sure.
of how to meditate and how it can be, but you know, it's open to however he's led to do it. But we can do it for 10 minutes and see what the Lord gives us, if that's cool with you.
That's not going to get me to argue with that, brother.
Let's see, that was one here.
Welcome to a Jesus-centered meditation. This meditation is a guided meditation. Similar to other meditations, there will be a lot of silence. I will guide you into silence through breathing. You will have time to become aware of your body and your environment. You will release your thoughts and get to a place of inner silence. Different to other meditations, the inner emptiness is not the goal, but simply the preparation. In the second part of the meditation, you will hear words of Jesus, which are written down in the Bible. I will read the words with a lot of silence between. The aim is to be filled with godly truth after the meditation. I invite you to engage with the words deeply and to open up for an encounter with the living God. I will close the time of meditation with a moment of silence. After, you can take a moment to reflect on your personal experience. Guiding into silence. Find a comfortable position. The position you choose should help you to receive and relax at the same time. You may close your eyes if you wish. Take a deep breath. Become aware of the air filling and leaving your body. Breathe in, breathe out. Find your own rhythm. Become aware of your environment. Are there any sounds around you? Take a moment to listen to them. The sounds should not disturb you later. Let them be part of the meditation. Now take some time to realize what thoughts you brought with you today. Is your mind busy? Watch each thought for a moment. Then put one after another into a bowl in front of you. You can cover the bowl if you need to. Leave the thoughts in this bowl during the precious time of meditation. You can open your hands if you feel like, as a sign that you are ready to receive from God. I will speak a short prayer. feel free to pray with me or to remain silent. Living God, here I am before you. Meet me with your steadfast love. Jesus spoke to them, saying, I am the light of the world. I am the light of the world. He who follows me will not walk in the darkness. He who follows me will not walk in the darkness. But will have the light of life. But will have the light of life. I have come as a light into the world, that whoever believes in me may not remain in the darkness. I have come as a light into the world, that whoever believes in me may not remain in the darkness. While you have the light, believe in the light, that you may become children of light. While you have the light, believe in the light, that you may become children of light. Jesus spoke to them, saying, I am the light of the world. He who follows me will not walk in the darkness, but will have the light of life. I have come as a light into the world, that whoever believes in me may not remain in the darkness. While you have the light, believe in the light, that you may become children of light. The meditation time is over now. Take a moment in silence to come back. Treasure time. The 10 minutes after the meditation is the treasure time. What you experienced during the meditation is precious. When you meditate together with others, the treasure time is a beautiful opportunity to exchange your thoughts and reflections with one another. You have chosen an object in advance to be the talking stick. Pass the talking stick around twice. Whoever holds the stick in his hands is the one who speaks. Feel free to pass the stick on without saying a word. Please do not comment or offer advice to one another. Share from your personal experience. Pass the talking stick twice to make sure that there is enough time to find words to encompass what you want to share. Let the treasure time be part of the meditation.
too short.
Agreed.
Oh, that's a good word.
It's very interesting to me how God is love. In saying that, He also is light. He also is truth. He also is, and he's not partial love, partial light, partial truth, and he is every aspect of love. He is every aspect of light. He is every aspect of truth. They focused on light in this one. I can't remember the exact words, but they said something like when you're falling right behind. When you follow behind somebody, usually it's within a shadow, not within him. It would just be light. Him lighting your path the whole way.
Walk in the light as he is in the light. So walking in him. It's good. Something I got was
Sorry, was that Dave? No, on the phone or whatever.
oh no.
Oh.
Oh yeah, he just did text.
I'm sorry, I didn't want to interrupt you.
Yeah, you're good. Yeah, he's on his way. Awesome.
Great.
We may do that again, just for 10 minutes. We'll see. But
I've had worse things happen to me.
it said something about that we may become children of the light. I think about my kids. They're one of the same. They're a mirror of me, a protege of me. They come from me. Their existence comes from my existence, and then they'll perpetuate the same existence of one kind, of one source. And that's what we are. Light begetting light, begetting light, begetting light. We are one of the same, for as he is in the world, so are we. I just can't help but think of that reality that we're part of him, and that when I used to think of Jesus and believing on him as is outside of him, believing on him, my sins are forgiven and then I'm saved. But it goes so much more than that now. Believing in him is to become him.
Part of him.
Becomes part of him.
Mhm.
I become a child of him, walk in the light, and I become children of the light. And so I'm wrapped up in the sum of what he is. It's so important for me anyway. I was trying to share my wife with it. That changes everything for me. It's so important for me because no longer I'm outside of this begging for a crumb of grace, hoping that you say, no, I am him. As he was in this world, so I am. I'm part of who he is. I'm the substance of who he is. It's like this whole cosmic world is full of energy, life, of a life force. It's him, and he desires to manifest variations of himself through every form of creation, whether it be a plant, an animal, but his highest form is us. But it's all him. That's why we're all part of the same source. That is so powerful to me, to think that I'm just not some random thing. No, his life force is in me, his force is in me to be a unique expression of him. That means I'm entitled to be me and be comfortable and love myself, because I am not just anything. I am him. It's just so good.
In him.
In him.
Not just you are in him. It's not the more I take the ocean as the example, I think it's such a wonderful analogy. I haven't found a flaw in it. Each individual is a wave, you know, and each wave is a day, a minute, an hour, or whatever of our lives, and it's constant energy, like you said. Plants are from him, grass is from him, air, all that is part of him, and getting a true grasp, of that. I mean, it's just so weird that I'm thinking this through now. The voice that I hear you say, the voice you hear me speak with, it's not my voice. Yes, it is.
But it isn't alone anyway.
Right. You truly can't hear my voice.
You're right. I'm hearing the manifestation of your flesh, but your thoughts are in there.
It's a projection of sorts.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's a great word to describe.
And then within that, you have, that's why it's so neat when we do spiritually connect. You don't have to, we can just look at each other and go, and we know that we thought the
same, similar, yeah. Yeah.
And that's why I was just thinking about you when you called.
Yeah. Sing the same song another person singing and be like, did I say, how you get that? Did I sing it out loud and didn't remember?
Right. Mm-hmm. Right. And those are, I believe as I'm able to enhance my understanding of that, it will become, how about, I'll say it this way, my observance of it will be more and more prevalent. I believe it is already there. It's the same idea, you'd have, there's not a Nissan Altima that drives by that I don't see.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. When I buy a new car, I see it everywhere.
Right. And right, but now we're locked in on it. Mm-hmm. I'll botch one of Joe's tapes, and it was that I was already believing him and liking him and this that, but this one sent me over the edge. Because I like beer or a hard drink or something like that. Mm-hmm. Wine's never been my forte. I'll drink a glass of wine. My wife likes to drink. Okay, I'll drink it. But it wasn't. Mm-hmm. Last August we went to Tahoe. I think I told you about that. And a friend of mine, it was his 50th birthday, and I'll have to show you his home. Just beautiful home on Lake Tahoe. Just 2 boats, jet skis. He housed, I can't remember, there's probably 15 or 20 of us, in this I mean, that's how huge the
Mm-hmm.
place
Wow.
was, you know,
Mm.
and it's just a wonderful, wonderful experience. He's done very, you know, financially well and things of that nature, and you know, and it, he's been that way most of his, well, all the time that I've known him. Having said that, he had. He asked me before, you know, come out, what do you want? You know, I said, I like some Sam Adams and Crown. So, you know, he sends me this, you know, picture or video, I can't remember what, but, you know, all these different, you know, bottles and things that he goes, you know, whatever you guys want, you know, you just have it. He had all these coolers, you know, full of, you know, water and, you know, adult beverages. And we were just, you know, what do you guys want to do? Whatever it is you want to do. And I don't know if you've ever been to Tahoe. There aren't pictures that do it justice.
Wow.
It's a place that you just have to experience, and I'll show you some pictures some other time when we focus on that. But the point of the story is that he had all these bottles of wine. You know, he lives near Napa Valley. Okay, yeah, no, that's fine. All right, that's good. Well, what he did is that, you know, he's like, you know, he got a bottle of wine, and he's like, you know, he started telling me about it, and you know, these grapes are that, and you know, this process is this, and you know, he just starts, and you know, when you roll it around like that, it brings out the body, and you know, all these different kinds, and you can see and you can taste, and that it's like, okay, so he pours me a glass. I drank more wine that weekend than I think I ever did in my life, and not that I was getting drunk. I'm just saying, I just never. It was so enjoyable.
Mm-hmm.
Because he explained the aspects, the inner workings.
Helped you appreciate it, yeah.
It did that. Yes, it brought a true appreciation, similar to the Ultima car. And then Joe also mentioned Van Gogh. You know, his beautiful paintings. You go, okay, yeah, that's a nice painting. But then goes, well. Then he tells a background story of. He really liked the sunrise and the sunset, and his time, you know, he'd get up and paint all these different colors and hues because he really want to, you know, bring it out. And he said he got cataracts, and they're like, well, we can fix that. He's like, no, I spent my whole life, you know, seeing it this way. I want to keep it that way, but it helps you just appreciate it, you know, even more and more, you know, because you hear a background story. Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, even more so to the work that you were speaking about. Okay, all the stories you originally get in the file are true, but if he does have diabetes and he was in the hospital last week, and then what are you with me? Mm-hmm. It brings a different type of appreciation or view.
Right.
Okay, so everything in the file is true, but if we look at the, you see what I mean? Mm-hmm. So that you know, because you could have brought, you know, $10,000 of wine, or you know, a screw top or whatever it was. You were just, but now I went out and I bought a case of that wine that I had never bought wine before other than the $10 bottle of wine for my wife at the grocery store.
Right.
You see what I mean? Mm-hmm. It was so good. Yeah. I had such an appreciation from it because of the perspective that was brought.
Yeah.
Too. So there's no doubt in my mind that when we do those type of things, it brings an appreciation and a perspective and helps us see it in a light. Again, not that we hadn't seen it before, but the in-depth. You spoke a little bit about work. You knew about Charlie, Fred, and Bob before you started working with them, but you didn't know the in-depth of, they aren't just eating bags of M&Ms and typing on the computer all day while I'm running around here working my butt off.
Mm-hmm. Right. Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah. Familiarity brings a whole different
it
perspective.
does, and I'm becoming to enjoy that word more and more every day. Familiar and unfamiliar is a huge truth in which we all can gain from. What I mean by that is our general unwillingness to do the unfamiliar is probably our biggest limiting factor.
Big time. Big time. Because we like them comfort zones.
I know this, so that's why we order the same thing at the restaurant. That's why we go to the same restaurant.
Yeah.
I mean, McDonald's banks on it. They do the exact same. You know, the Big Mac is saying here. What you understand?
Yeah, we make millions off of people's comfort. Just reduplicate what they like.
Right.
You know, but if we would change, that's a good point what you're talking about, because I'm learning to rethink this comfort thing and be like, hey, why not try something different? There is no failure, and recalibrate my mind to think that, okay, this wasn't, no longer see something as, well, I'm disappointed, this is what I didn't expect. Changing that whole way of looking at things to, this is a different angle, this is a different perspective. No longer thinking those thoughts of, this is not what I wanted, or this is not what I thought. Just do away with that whole garbage thinking, so that when I do approach something different, or I'm in a different position that I've never been before, I can appreciate it now. Hey, this isn't like what I thought, but there's some things over here that I was looking for, you know? That way I remove the sense of disappointment, because now that the way I see the environment is like, hey, there's something fresh, there's everything is good in here. It removes the fear of failure. It's never a failure. This is just another side to the coin. And so you cultivate an appetite for exploration in that. And exploration means living in the unknown, which is to, what I believe is to live in God, because there's an infinite wisdom, there's a plethora of knowledge and understanding that He desires that we walk in as we walk in Him. And that's where all the dreams that we have come together. It's in that place.
I basically just change one word, and it's exactly what you're saying, and I would change that word. It's creation.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
That's
perfect. That's a long way around, but that's
right. But no, that's what I knew exactly what you were saying, and that it's something that we've known, but not lived out or appreciated or truly understood, or I don't know the exact words on it, but we are made in His image. He is, again, there goes another word, the definition of creation. You know, we talked about love and truth, light. It's really amazing how He is that. And you know, as I'm saying this, I need to be careful on that, in that it's not just Him. If He is that, and I'm made in His image, the only roadblocks on me not being that is me. So as He is the standard to creation, He is the standard to love, He is the standard to light, He is the standard to truth, He is the standard. I'm sure more will come. It is highly beneficial for us to grasp,
glean from.
Okay, all right, yeah.
Yeah.
It's just
I need you.
It's amazing what he is. So, well, anyway, catch us up. How was your week? What's going on with?
Good. I got to see him already, so I already caught him up.
Okay.
I already told him, I was like, man, my first week, it was very good trying to change my mindset to be positive and everything like that. But I told him, like, man, I felt there was a devotional that I tried, and I tried it with Sterling for it was a 2-week devotional I found on that Bible app.
Mm-hmm.
It was called Battlefields of the Mind. Okay, do you know what it is?
No, I haven't, but it sounds pretty apropos.
Yeah.
Hey, hold on, mark that down. That's a bonus point towards.
Yeah, the new words.
Yeah. No, I said it, so you guys have to spell it. Okay.
So it's about like being put in scenarios and the battle within yourself as to how you, I guess your own perception, your interpretation, how you take it, what goes on in the mind of this, and it put it in 2 weeks. It was one every single day. It put you through like financial struggle, cheating, falling out of faith, arguments of fight, just
Good.
a plethora of, every day was a different scenario of that, right? And then it would give you a story behind it, Joe and Mary, blah blah blah, and then at the end there was a link you would click and it would bring you to the Bible and show you the scripture to it. So coming back to me being my first week, that's how I felt, like a battlefield of the mind. I woke up
I could imagine,
and I found this 9-minute gratitude affirmation that I liked.
it's a great start, brother.
Yeah, I started walking with my wife at 4, and then I would play it, and it was 9 minutes, and we would go just about two some change miles, just walk back. So then I would get ready for work, and we would listen to that 9 minute. That would be the first thing we did. But
It's off to a good start.
How powerful was that?
My ride from
So were you a nut job in her eyes, or what? What it was? What was her
I don't know.
perspective?
She's not.
Okay, that's fine.
She hasn't-
That's fine. That's fine.
She's asked some questions here and there.
Okay, that's cool.
Probably don't know what to make of it yet.
That's
Yes,
fine.
that's exactly what it is.
It's too early in the. I got it. I didn't. Go ahead. I
Yeah.
didn't mean to
She
interrupt.
She doesn't know yet because she's asked some questions to me. And then I have my moments where I tell her, look, stop. I'm being positive. Let's look at it. Just that alone already puts her like.
We'll see how long this lasts.
Yeah, I'm gonna let you do it.
Okay, you don't want to fight now, but I'll fight you later.
I like what you're doing, but let's just see where it goes.
Yeah. Which, in all fairness, is a true or a fair perspective. That would be a norm for her.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But because again, anybody can be good for 5 minutes. Yeah, okay, well, we won't do it now. We'll just do it later. So no, I get that. That's fair.
So my ride to work, depending on where I'm going, for right now I'm going somewhere almost to Mossy Head in Defuniak, so it's like an hour and 15-minute drive. During that time, I'll listen to music or I say my prayer, but during that time is where like the battle starts, because my I tell myself, I have self-control and I just want peace and tranquility. Just to start, in my head, it's all I've asked for so far. I mean, I've asked for other things, but what I've concentrated on, what I'm feeling, has been just
that's a great start.
I have self-control and I want peace and tranquility up here so I can just clear it.
Excellent.
Clear it out.
In my opinion, that's excellent.
But when I listen to music, or if I'm not engaged where like my mind is doing something like work, when I'm actually at work working with the guys, like I don't have a single thought, man. I'm concentrating on what I'm doing. We're talking, a lot of stuff going around, so you have something that's always occupying you in your mind because you're concentrating on your job. But the times that it's not, man, like I'll put on a song and that song just makes me think of some competition I was in, or what I want to be in, or I can imagine myself in my own story and write it from page to page and see what my future is and write it. So in my head, I'll listen to the song and it's so upbeat. I see myself challenging somebody to a dance, or going hunting, or fighting in mixed martial arts. And then like good and bad come with it because I put myself in a story, so there has to be good with bad in life. And then when I start thinking of negative stuff, I'm like, no, stop, clear it out. So then I'll just stop the image.
That's great.
But then another one comes right back, and I'm like, wait, didn't I just say stop?
Yes.
And it's repetitive, over and over and over. My imagination is just, my mind, it just keeps going with another thought and another thought, and a different song is another thought and another thought. And I'm like,
Let me inject to try and help you. 2 weeks ago, it was foreign to put a positive thought in that type of dreaming / thought process you were going through.
Well,
do you?
No, I mean, it was because it was my dream. You know, I'm the superhero.
Right? Yeah.
Dot on top.
Yeah.
I get the girls. You know.
But what I'm saying is part of the battle is it's something that you're not used to. So you're doing a great. What you've explained so far is, in my mind, you are doing outstanding. Please continue. I don't want to.
Well, no, I had a chance
excellent.
to throw. So, like, for me, being my first week, like, we went walking Monday through Friday at 4. We didn't do nothing on the weekends. And then during this week, I trying to stay positive. I know this weekend, like, I had to catch myself more because I started to get short fused with kids. Why haven't you done this? Why haven't you done this? But then, like, I still catch myself, but the time frame is not as quick. I notice the hardest time I have is when I'm home. Like, when I'm waking up, getting ready for work and go to work, I'm fighting, but I feel like I'm winning. I keep telling myself self-control, peace and tranquility in my mind, self-control. But when I go home, that's where I feel like the challenge is more than going to work. Because then, like, the kids, the house, my wife, everybody, it's so much more, like, hands being put in the pot, you know.
The ones that you love are there.
Yeah.
The ones because those are the ones that you're closest to, is the ones at home.
Yep.
So it's more personal there. Mm-hmm. So in doing that, they're used to Knucklehead Dave being a jerk, yelling at me for a chart and not having homework done and the house mess and all those different kinds of things. So what's happening is that you're truly challenged in this. Mm-hmm. Your heart is changing in this. So you're having to work / battle through this. Mm-hmm. And that's where the most challenges come. So it's, doing math problems. You start with 1 + 1 and end up with trigonometry. Well, it's good. 1 + 1, 2 + 2, 6 × 6. Now we get into you're like, oh, so in this scenario, work is 1 + 1, 6 × 6. You understand what I mean? 100 divided by 2. You know what I mean? The more simple stuff. The complexities are at home. Because now it's an all new dynamic. Why? Because it's an all new heart. See, your lens, you've taken your camera or your scope or whatever, and now you're fine tuning it, and you're like, whoa, look at that. See, I don't know if you know what the word myopic means. Mm-hmm. Okay, you've had a myopic approach at it, and now that you've got that myopic vision corrected, you're seeing the mess that is out there. Mm-hmm. Okay, so at the job site, you don't have to fine tune everything. You can sweep a little stuff over to the side and just plow through and concentrate on work. Well, you have to concentrate on your wife, your kids, the house, the bills, and this, that, and the other when you're there. So it's that much more complicated there. So it's more than what you're going through is totally understandable, reasonable, rational. It's not crazy, not even a little bit. But it's where you have to dig in. It's kind of like you like football and the trenches. You know what I mean? We can talk about Tom Brady all day long, but if he doesn't have a line up there blocking for him, you see what I mean? If those guys aren't up there, battling out and winning those battles where it's hard in the trenches again, Tom Brady's who he is, but he can't do what Tom Brady can't do what he can do when he's got this perspective. Mm-hmm. He's got to be like this. Agreed? Mm-hmm. And he can handle a little running around and a little over there and do his work. But your perspective is because they have there's so many challenges there. That's where it's at. So that's where you're gonna take the opportunity to truly dig in. So it's going to be tougher. But man, your perspective is right on, Dave. You everything that you said. I'm serious. I'm very proud of what you've shared with me, and I really appreciate it. And in my 2 cents, you're spot on. But those were the challenges are going to be. So tell me about some of the tougher things that you had to deal with.
Well, it's just having a negative outlook. Like when I'm
before you may have not noticed. You may have noticed it, but you didn't see the intensity of it. The fact that you can even see it is just.
It's tremendous. I don't think you understand how big that is.
Why anybody tell me I got body odor? I mean, I knew I had a little something, but I didn't know it was that bad.
No, it's serious. No, I'm serious. That's actually an outstanding analogy.
Yeah, look at you cups.
What he just said is an outstanding analogy.
I started my first.
Excellent, and that's it. That's again, and it helps because you can go back and see. And I'm gonna take that body odor analogy. When you're out at work and you're in the free wind, you don't notice how funky you are because you ain't in clothes. Yeah. When you get home, you're in clothes. The door's closed. The air, something stinks in here.
Is that me?
Exactly.
You didn't think it was you?
Mm-hmm. Might be the tail end of that.
Well, here I got some.
I like that you got that little book there, man.
Dude, it takes me everywhere, man. I just saw like I just wrote some stuff in there last week after we had our first meeting and everything like that. So
excellent.
And then I wrote some quotes to keep in mind to go with my first week of.
I'm telling you've taken the bull by the horns, and his analogy was outstanding with the body odor. Now you're in the house and you're funky and your family's funky, and you're going around spraying deodorant, on yourself, and they're going. So you think you're better because now you smell a little bit better? You see what I mean? Getting
that challenge.
Yeah, right. Yeah. It is because again, that's the game that has been played for how long? Right. So exactly. So when that has to change, that is just straight up weird. We hear the stories of abused children and stuff like that. If they get beat by their dad or whatever, they don't know that that's the wrong.
Right. That's part of life.
That's normal.
You right. So why would they think any different? Mm-hmm. So. That's what you're going through, my friend. That's what you're.
Which kind of shows me we actually have the power to lead by just being this truth ourselves. Because we kind of was this false truth for a long time, and we've kind of led our family not even realizing it. We've like every thought that we thought previously before, the same routine, the same this. We've taught the kids the same thing. We taught the wife the same thing. But now that we're trying to get out into this new groove and be like, man, I'm taking a bath. I put deodorant on. Mm-hmm. And the funk comes again, and we think, no, but that ain't me. It washes away.
Exactly.
And we do it over and over again. Then we can actually kind of, and even though they're on the outside like, oh, this is not going to last. We'll watch him,
Mm-hmm.
But then he's staying true to it. Mm-hmm. I got a little something too.
Yeah.
But I don't care. Well,
yeah.
But if I can't be around him, I'll do a little something. And
no, I'll do. You know what I mean? I'm gonna wipe some of my funk on you.
Yeah. But then if they catch up, they'd be like, it kind of feels good to.
Yeah.
Be fresh a little bit.
For real.
Yeah.
It does. In fact, I love you, Dave.
Yeah. It's gonna happen. Yeah. And that's asking for the bar of soap.
I think the having people with you with that mindset of, look, positive thinking. This is that you push forward, helps you push forward. And I see that because when I talk to my wife, she's not against it, but she questions it a lot. But I think because her side and probably the people around her, or we haven't been to church, or just her side questions what we're doing, you know. Mm-hmm. So
and anybody truly in their right mind would and should. Well, what do they say about the stock market? You can't you can't predict the future, but you can go on the track record. I mean, you gonna put your dollar in Coke? Why? Because Coke's been around forever and it keeps right. Mm-hmm. Okay,
stay constant.
Yeah. So that's what the past record says about Coke or McDonald's or what you understand, whatever stock it is. That doesn't predict tomorrow, but I'm gonna put my money on that horse.
It's been years.
Exactly.
But no risk, no big.
But right. So that's the horse that they're looking at with you. You got a 33-year track record of being a knucklehead. So right.
Why you gonna change it now?
Yeah, exactly. Okay. So I mean, Coca-Cola has, week of down week, quarter. Are you with me?
Well, we expect a down week.
Yeah,
we expect the up weeks.
Exactly.
Yeah, the down weeks are temporary. We expect that little constant up week.
Yeah,
exactly.
So that's how it's being viewed, which is rational. That's not a crazy perspective. So
does your wife question you, or is she ever curious about you?
Yes, but fortunately now it's been. You should look. One of the bigger things is that when we used to. I can honestly say this. I don't remember the last time my wife and I yelled at each other, and that is. And you're talking about a very, very strong personality here, and a very, very strong personality. Now, so whether it was drinking or whatever it was, and what it started, what I made the decision to just stop cussing. Mm. So I said, I'm not going to cuss anymore. So she can call me whatever names that she wants. I'm not going to cuss anymore. And then and of course that didn't stop her. But it I said, I would just say, I wish you wouldn't cuss. That's not what we're talking about. Whatever. Okay. And then when that, since it's been so long, I don't know how long it took. It took a while. And then went from the no cussing to, I'm not going to engage you when you're yelling. Because I stopped yelling. Okay. I'm not going to. You can say and do whatever you want. You can get mad. I'm not going to engage that. I said, when you want to sit down and talk about it, I'll talk to you till the sun comes up. Mm. And then that took a period of time. Again, I don't know exactly how long. And then sit down and talk. That we have to take each other at each other's word. When I say I apologize for it, or you say you apologize for it, there's no more drudging it back up. You used to do this, you did that, you. If we've apologized for it, we have to take the person at their heart on what level that they said it. We're going to move forward. And perhaps I'll make a mistake again in there, but we don't go, see, I told you so. We're not going to keep records of wrongs. We're going to go, okay, you're right. I need to improve from that. We need to lovingly approach. Because I make a mistake doesn't give you permission to go.
Yeah.
It's an opportunity to go, hey, it's the batter striking out in there. All right, I called it SDBD, shoulder drop bat drag. I used to coach girls softball for my daughters. Oh, they drop their shoulders and walk, the home plate holding the bat like this, dragging it over there. Shoulder drop bat drag. That's what I called it, SDBD. And no, because I sit on the bucket in the dugout. No, and they knew, but when I said no, they'd have to perk up and, walk in there. And I would talk to them. I said, what happened there? And they, they'd inevitably, they'd be swinging at the high pitches. And, I coached them so long. I was coaching a core group of girls. Literally, by my last year, I wasn't even coaching because the girls, I used the same systems over and over, and I'd say the same things over and over. When the pitcher, pitcher makes, rock back movement, before they go forward. I said, when, whoever the pitcher, when Adina moves, you move, and that's what they did. And they take a step forward, and lower down and do those types of things. I say all that to say that when, with the shoulder drop back drag, get out of it. You have to get out of it instantly. Okay, you swung at a high pitch on this one. Just don't do that. Okay, you're going to have another at bat. Don't do that anymore. And that's the same thing with whatever argument, fight, whatever it may be. Okay, I did. I cursed. I yelled. I shouldn't have done that. All right, but we don't go. And you did it last time. We can't. Just like we wouldn't tell the batter as they're coming out of the batter circle. Hey, remember last time you struck out? You can't do that. Yeah. You see what I mean? You have to, you encourage them. Get them this time. Go get them. It's the same kind of encouragement. Does that make sense to you?
You have to start that with yourself, though.
Amen.
Yeah, and that's
you find yourself going, start those thoughts. What's supposed to think those thoughts? And immediately you beat yourself up, and that same type of mentality you do in the relationship. Mm-hmm. So it's easier when you get that mastery in yourself that you can do it.
That's why the self mastery does work. Yep. It is.
The one thing I've noticed, because I was talking to my wife about it, and I have no idea if she talks with Tanya about it. I'm assuming she does, but I don't know. But she would bring up all this stuff like, well, bring it up for herself. Like, she's like, I'm curious about it. I don't really know. It doesn't sound right that you challenge the battle ball the way you do. And I'm just like,
I didn't understand what you were saying. Say that again.
I'm just talking about...
She brings up what?
No, I'm talking about, like, what I'm learning about this self-mastery. Self-mastery. Mm-hmm. That I noticed that the law of attraction plus, the way that we follow God, it's not a... whether I think I can or can't, and whether I think you can and can't, I'm right. Mm-hmm. It's not. It's only me. I can't control that for you.
Correct.
And that's what I try to talk to her about it.
But if people don't like that, they don't. Because then you mean I have to be responsible
for it. Yeah, with me too. I'm like, no, this is a me, and you're either following or you won't follow. Yep. That is your choice. I don't know I'm not going to say you're not capable for this. And then you prove me wrong. Obviously,
exactly.
The law of attraction is different for you. It just means that I'm controlling my own law of attraction, not yours or anybody else's around me.
That's the beauty of the organized church. Sorry, not beauty. Ahead. The organized church says, same thing. You make it in here, I got you.
We're codependent.
Because again, you made it here during this time frame. And you stood up, stood down, you sang your handful of songs, and you were the greeter. That's your responsibility. That's the end of it. Now go live the other 166 hours of the week, however it is you want. There is no dependent. There is no responsibility. That was your responsibility. You did your niche. Mm-hmm. You see what I mean? Now you're done. Now what you're talking about with self-mastery is a 24/7 thing. Mm-hmm. And it's individual. This is the beauty of it. I don't know how to truly encapsulate it in my mind. It's 100% individual. You said that spot on. Yet it's totally connected because it's not only connected to and through the body of Christ, but it's also connected to Christ, the head. You see the ocean, if you will. So we have the individual power within, but we have the responsibility to do the ears job, to do the legs job, to do the thighs job. Okay. Mm-hmm. So it's interdependent, it's connected yet separated. It's quite a dynamic. It's hard to truly.
You kind of realize the influence you have when you have this self-mastery. you're a force to be reckoned with. You're connected to the source. So when you say, "Hey, no, I'm going this way," that's not how we do.
Right.
And so you begin to lead by saying, "No, this is what's right for me. This is what's true for me. This is God in me. I'm hearing it, and it makes sense to my heart. I'm not interested in what the normal way is. This is true for me." And so we're realizing that there's eyes on us because they're challenging us or questioning us, and we actually have the ability to lead when we're thinking for ourselves. Before, we were just unconsciously conscious.
Seriously.
Just subject to, this is the way we do, this is what I heard, this is what church says. So now that we're alive, because we're getting this momentum of self-mastery,
habit, instinctual, random,
everything changes.
Reactionary, accident. Sorry, I'm just everything you're saying is that's it. Habitual, instinctual, random, reactionary, all those things. That's it. We're used to doing things this way. The world is used to do this. I mean, now I'm adding into my along with the renewing of the mind. Don't fall to the patterns
of this world.
It's
And
like,
the church
it's like that muscle memory, like
yes.
you're talking about, like
the what?
going to the movie, like muscle memory, like you don't.
Muscle memory, yes.
You don't think that these bad habits or something we're put in. Like we went to movies and we're like, we literally just finished having brunch, and I'm like, dude, I don't know what it is, but your body just got used to. If you go to the movies, whether you just ate and you're so full and you still buy that bag of popcorn, you still sit down, you know? Yeah, but like, why am I eating? I know I'm full and I don't want to eat, but it's like an instinctual, like you have a snack while you watch a movie and then you're like, why am I eating?
That's our whole life is like that.
Yeah. It is. If you think about how many things that you do that are that way, you will be amazed at what percentage, and I'm going to say it's very high 90s, very high 90s, 99. It's the things that we. Now, having said that, that's technically right now the bad news. The good news is that you can make it that way, all to self-mastery. Mm-hmm. You understand what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So because the synapses and neurons that fire together wire together. So if you're running the racetrack grooved like this, it's understandable. Well, that's why it's grooved. I eat popcorn then. I eat popcorn then. I eat popcorn then. I don't eat a popcorn then. I don't eat popcorn. I don't eat. You see what I mean? It's just like you set it up. All you're doing is reprogramming your computer. That's literally that's all you're doing. Yep. It is that simple, yet it is that technical and complicated.
It's that hard. Yeah.
Yes, it is.
It's really the answer is there. Like the whole law of attraction. Like it's right there in front of you. Wow. It's so simple, but then you try to do it. You're like, right, and this is not.
Yeah. Hey, can you
easy?
Can you spell your name? Yeah, that's no problem. Okay, now do it without the pencil. What?
I can't help but think of this self-mastery of discipline and choosing your thoughts rather than just being random to your thoughts. It's sort of like, I keep thinking of the Terminator when the computer becomes self-aware.
Yeah.
All of a sudden he's alive and he's all in the world and he's executing things that are potential threats to itself. Mm-hmm. That's kind of how we are. We're becoming self-aware where I'm not just part of a system. I'm independent. Hey, I'm live.
Yeah, I can do this for myself.
Yes, you're becoming alive. And so now you're identifying behaviors, attitudes, and thoughts that you're going to eliminate. You're just like the Terminator was eliminating these human beings you're going to eliminate behaviors and ideas, not necessarily people unless there's someone besides your family that you can eliminate. But you may even find yourself isolating yourself for a season from music and things that go down a spiral just so you can detox for a season and become self-mastery. And then when you get back into the world again, you see those things but from a different perspective, and they don't come in here and grab a hold of you and do what they do now.
Yeah.
And so you're developing this fitness of this mind so that you can reapproach life from a whole different you'd be like born again, a true born again experience. Like, now I came in the wrong way before, but now I see it for what it is. And so I find myself, it's a phase where I asked God, we were coming out thinking we were going to do this home church thing, and we are, but the vision I have for it was like totally different. I was looking to reduplicate church, but in a small thing at home, and so we took the leap of faith, and we said, God, we know you're bigger than just me staying there for the money and all that. And while we were in midair about to let touchdown, I feel like God was like, all right, I'm going to honor the fact that you were willing to step out in faith. And he's like directed my path, and it's like, here's who I really am. Here's who I really am. That was good for a season, but it was only the surface. It wasn't, because you think about it.
A lesson you needed or something. Just that.
We were saying in church, he's an infinite God. He's wisdom. Yeah. But how is it we're trying to box him in that? Mm-hmm. Like, is not his wisdom founded the whole earth? And through all sources of all people, all wisdom, all knowledge, regardless of this big globe where it is, not one person can contain it all because they can't contain him, so it's spread throughout the earth. But this one form of religion is saying, hey, I'm it, no. But that means that he's that small? No. His wisdom comes through the whole globe, through all different types of people. But it looks like his son, but his son did not say what we're hearing in the church. It's just somebody's perspective. So I got to declutter my mind from that and say, what are you saying to me personally? Because when I get there and you're with me, you're going to be like, what did I tell you in your heart? Yeah, but these people, but I was speaking to you. Well, I wasn't trained to think that was you, And so now we're privileged to have come to this place where that was you. I can listen to that guy. I can respond, I can make sense. He listen to anybody and receive the meat of truth that builds my character and jives with me. I'm free to do that and not feel guilty that I'm distancing myself from God, because if it's good, if it's true, it's from above, coming down from the Father of light. So now I can just, if Muhammad has something of wisdom, it's only because God was giving it to him, so I can hear that. And if it jives with my soul, if Jesus has the most words, I'll listen to him. But whatever source it comes from, I now can see that God is so bigger than I ever thought. I would never want to limit him through this, that, or the other. I'm going to take him in everywhere, all the time, because he is, the whole earth is his, and the fullness of earth there is. And all life is in him, regardless of who it is. Now that I'm seeing that, I'm not dogging that, but it was good for a season. Man, y'all need to, if y'all only knew, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But now that I have, it's just like an awareness. You're so bigger than I ever thought. How is it that I was able to say it on this side of my mouth and not really believe it on this side of my mouth? Mm-hmm. And so the only way you will be able to get to that place is to take that steep step of faith and say, God, I really want to know. So this journey for me began as we were talking. I was in Proverbs, and we were in James 1, and it says, anybody lacks of wisdom, ask. Anybody lacks of wisdom, ask. And right before it says that, it talks about, hey, consider it joy, my brother, when you're going through these various trials and blah, 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 blah. And we were thinking, why is it saying that right before it says, ask for wisdom? And so somewhere along the way, I was asking God, I need wisdom, because I feel like you're telling me things, and they're challenging my old way of thinking, but they seem right to me. Mm-hmm. And I don't want to have this weird thing where I feel like I'm distancing you or challenging you to follow those things. Sort of like what you've had in your heart. I feel this way, but the church is saying one thing,
Yeah.
And so I asked him, I need wisdom. And all of a sudden, I was listening to some tapes, and then me and him were meeting together on some deep subjects about I am and stuff that we hadn't talked about before. And then when we get together, we're like, pow! And I'm like, okay, God, I'm seeing some more, but I don't know, man, this is bigger than the way I'm used to thinking. It's challenging me. And then James says, but when you ask, believe. But don't go back and forth, because a man like that, he better not expect to hear anything, because he's like the wave tossed back and forth. So now these deeper ideas that have challenged my old way of thinking, I'm going back to that word. It says, when you have asked, believe. So I'm going, okay, well, this has got to be you. But this is bigger than I thought, bigger than I did. And so I'm using his word to plow through my doubt and fear. And now I'm seeing him so much bigger than I ever thought. And I'm going back to his word to say, don't doubt, don't fear, but be believing. And so I'm just doing that cycle over and over again, and it's propelling me further than I ever thought. And it's why we're here talking things like we're talking about, things that are beyond our normal thinking, our normal tracking, where our whole mind is being remade, renewed. And it's like, wow, there's so much here, but I got to sit back because it's almost too much.
Yeah. Take a moment to digest it all to understand.
It does.
That's just a little journey, because your mind is like, yes, and then all of a sudden you're overwhelmed. Whoa, yes, whoa, yes. And so you take a little bit increments at a time, but let this be in the foundation of your thinking as your root source before you go. If you have asked, do not doubt. In fact, fear is done away with. It should have been done away with in the church. There's no guilt in life. There's no fear in death. That means I'm free of everything that would have held me down. The only thing that keeps me in there is that I really don't believe. So fear is still there. Death is still a real reality.
Brother, keep on going.
And so I don't do all that's in my heart to do, but I think it's faithfulness to just sit here to God and not live. I think that's doing God justice and faith to sit and lock down.
Man, I got a lot of stuff here.
It just proves that I don't know him at all. These notepads are handy. You write these down.
Well, while you're sharing, and that stops me from injecting, but I still get to hear what you're, because I like your continuation. So this is going to be a requirement from now on. Have that. You brought up one of the first things I wrote down was YouTube. You mentioned listening to music, in the hour and 15 minutes. I cannot emphasize and point you enough to. I listen to YouTube, and I listen to this guy named Joe Dispenza, and then that thing that Sterling pointed out to you, Your Universe, on YouTube. While driving, it's
instrumental.
It's immeasurable. I can't encourage you enough to. What I do is before I leave the house, I'll hit play on the YouTube, so it's already loaded or whatever, and then just go down the road and listening to some of these teachings are an hour long. You know what I mean? And I instead of listening to music, I can't tell you how invaluable that would be. So that's a suggestion, and I can share with you some Joe Dispenza before we go. He mentioned doesn't matter what the source is on what we're learning, and I wrote down we can even learn from the devil, and what I mean by that is what not to do.
Yeah. Either way, it's a lesson, but it's either going to be negative or...
Right, yeah. I'm not doing that, Are you with me? Mm-hmm. So I think that can be a limitation that we'll put on. Well, I'm not going to hear that because it's... No, that doesn't mean we need to... Yes, there's a lesson to be learned at the porno club, but that doesn't mean we go hang out in there. You understand what I'm saying? And it doesn't mean that we hang out with the devil. I said we can even learn from the devil. You had mentioned Muhammad or whatever, and I said we can learn from the devil.
Right.
Again, not that's
right. Place,
yeah. But we can learn. What not to do can be as good as learning what to do. So in that. And then, and I also talked about YouTube, the Joe and the Universe, that you, instead of listening to the music back and forth to work, how invaluable
I've been wanting to send you stuff, but I was like, is he ready? Ready?
I hear you.
Stuff will crack your mind.
Yeah.
It's for me, one of my things that I'm trying to do is like getting into shape, right? I mean, I'm going to...
I'm going to interrupt.
No.
Take out try.
Yeah.
Don't say try.
I was just about to say I'm gonna do it. I already said it's in my heart. But my body's not ready for what I'm gonna go through. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yes.
I'm not ready,
Yes, you are.
but I'm going to do it.
No, I
Well, no,
totally
I'm talking about what he's saying about I don't if is he ready? Your body's not ready for your if you want to better yourself, your body's not at the point of where you want it to be.
Correct. Okay.
You know what I'm saying? It's like my body is not ripped in 210
Sure.
right now. It is going to be.
There you
But
go.
from here to there,
Yeah.
I'm not
There's
ready.
bumps. Yeah. Steps.
It's gonna hurt, but it's gotta go. So like, yeah, I mentally might not be ready, but it's I need to get there. That's where I need to get to, you know. So I've been looking up stuff myself. Like, man, I need to hear this more often, you know.
Yes. So the living out our belief. So not just saying it. You had talked about that, not just believe. You talked about the wind, like a mist, the double-minded, those different kinds of things. But living out our belief does matter. And I'm being really challenged with that right now, as I shared with Sterling earlier, is that I'm spending my last dollar. I had 17 years of every other Thursday. There's $1 in the bank. Now I'm all dependent, on the sales and doing those different kinds of things. And, well, what about next month? Well, I can't be down. You see what I mean? I got to maintain that same attitude, that same provision. But I must make the argument of even more because of the trust and faith in him and what the abilities that he has given me and is strengthening me in as I continue on down the path. Because he didn't just bring me here to drop me off a cliff. He brought me. That journey. It's like a rocket ship.
He brought you to the cliff to take the first step of faith.
Yes.
That's like the best analogy I've ever heard is like, look at a cliff and like you can't see the bottom. Mm-hmm. Go take a step.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, that's it. That's it, and that's exactly where I'm at financially. But everything else that I have in me has assured me that through the Lord I have this. That James 1:2-5, the experience and wisdom, where it does say, "Consider it pure joy, my brothers, whenever you face trials of many kinds." It takes that experience in order for us to gain that wisdom. Just like you said, you can't live for your wife on whatever it is. She has to experience it just like you have to experience it. Mm-hmm. That's why wisdom can't be transferred to somebody. Knowledge can. Wisdom can't. Wisdom is
earned. It's earned.
It is, and yes, and it's experienced. And you can sit back and share. It's experience. It's sharing the experience without the emotion. Mm. See,
that would be considered knowledge, because knowledge is learning something with no emotional tie to what you just learned.
Yes.
Well, wisdom is you went through it.
Yes, exactly. You exactly. And then the parting of the Red Sea. Where I'm at, if you will, on that's the look. What do we know about the Red Sea? Here they come. Mm-hmm. If the Red Sea was parted 20 years earlier, would we be talking about the Red Sea?
Mm-hmm. Probably not. By itself?
Right, yeah. Do you understand what I'm saying? As part of the story.
Right.
You see what I mean? What makes the story?
That 1 million people walked on dry land.
Exactly. While being
chased.
You see what I mean? It's the trial that they're going through
that makes it significant.
Mm-hmm. Same thing. That's it.
It's the experience.
And right.
Our whole life here, we're trying to avoid experiences that challenge us.
Yeah, they didn't go.
So we're not getting the wisdom that's supposed to be acquired through it.
We'll go up through. We'll take a left here, take a right there, and then we'll be able to make it through over here. Remember, the Red Sea's parted, so we'll make it through over there. They don't know that. Mm. No, that isn't it. They were actually going into a vice, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's
good.
Yeah. And then
that's before you move on.
Go ahead.
So it goes back to what you and I were talking about earlier, because if I retrain my perspective so that I don't see failure, I just see an expanded viewpoint, then I can acquire all these experiences that are giving me this wisdom. I'm just heaping for myself wisdom through every experience that I acquire.
Say that part again.
I'm just exploring the thought. I'm heaping up for myself wisdom as I go through every experience life has to offer. Mm-hmm. That's God applying wisdom to me through every experience. So I need to do away with my old way of thinking about these experiences to see whether they're a fail or a pass or whatever. They're all serving for the greater purpose of my good. It may not be as quick as I like, but I'm picking up a necessary tool that's going to get me to where I need to go. So if I just maintain the perspective that this is good, this is for my good, it's there's a purpose in this. I'm acquiring something. The sooner I get that kind of thinking, I can actually get in there and get that tool and get out probably. Mm-hmm. But the fact that I'm resisting it, I linger in those places so much longer than I should.
We hang out.
And
it's like hanging out in the gym locker room and ain't nobody taking a shower. Yeah. It's funky up in there. What the heck are you hanging out in there for? Ain't nothing but dirty draws and funky men. What's the purpose of hanging around in there?
Yeah.
Get in, do what you need to do, and go on, man. You know what I'm saying?
They like them stories, man. The old guys, they've already had their time and wisdom, so for them it's like a rite of passage to walk around with no towels, just talking to other guys the same way,
like, dude.
Passing stories like, guys, man, what you guys do this weekend? Yeah. I saw a picture. You ever seen like those news clippings that they have that one picture that the picture says it all, and they have like this little quote at the bottom. When you read it, you're like, oh yeah, look at this picture.
Yeah.
They had one with a bunch of old guys, and the saying was something like, you can tell either experience or wisdom or the age difference from then and now, and they show a bunch of old guys like kind of all over, no towel, like, you know, legs spread, going like this, all next to each other, one's sitting next to them, you know, and it looks like they're telling stories.
Sure.
And then you see the young guys, and they have towels on, and they're like this walk, like they're in different parts of the gym, like, and they're like, yeah, it's that wisdom as time goes on, like, you don't care, like, you care now because you're young. Yeah. You're like, oh, nobody can look at me naked. And then these old guys are like, come on, this is nothing, you know?
Nothing.
You realize what's important.
Yeah.
All that pity.
Exactly. They do it. But in Ron Charles, like, you know, that's very funny. Actually,
and very true.
But very funny, man. It is. The younger crowd are very timid in life, and they have long ways to go and so much to experience, and their paths are unwritten, and these older gentlemen have been there and done that, and they just have this, they don't all have this sense of peace to them, but it's like they have that carefree aspect of life, I guess I would say. They don't care.
They understand that one light bill being late doesn't end your life.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
A couple of things. I want to show this short video. It's what we were talking about a little bit ago, but I wanted to add this. The best way to view failure is to not look at your goal. See? Do you understand what I'm saying there?
Elaborate.
Yeah.
The only way... if you're... Okay, we talked about focus.
Yep.
Okay? Focus on your goal. Is your goal failure?
Is your goal failure?
Yes, it's your goal. So then how do you see it?
You don't see
exactly.
failure.
So the only way to see it is...
But you don't want to.
Exactly. So that's the point. What I'm saying is, if you're focused on your goal, how do you see failure?
You sidetrack. You
only see it when you
take your eyes
off.
If
you're focused.
Eyes off the prize.
Right. Here's my goal.
And I'm gonna stop. You have to flip for a minute there.
Oh, did I say it backwards?
No, you said it right, but our minds had to catch up with what.
Oh, okay. I was like, okay.
How do you see failure? I don't want to.
Idiot. But do you get what I'm saying, though? Yeah.
As long as you keep your eye on the goal, you.
Why?
Whatever bad habits, you just keep moving forward.
The only way to see it is Well, actually, now I just come up with another one. There's two ways. Look off of it, or bring into your mind a past experience.
Where there's no more lessons to be learned.
Well, last time I did this, I fell off.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not going to try riding my bike no more. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Right?
You go into it expecting now it's different this time.
Laser focus.
I got a goal, so if I fall down, I'm getting back up.
Laser
I'm not
focus.
even expecting a fall.
Laser focus.
Just keep going.
Laser focus.
Mm-hmm.
Laser focus. Laser focus. Boom. Straight ahead on that.
I'm worth this. I can do this. I deserve this.
Amen.
I'm entitled to it.
Listen to this. So sometimes this guy curses. I don't know if he's in this one, so I apologize in advance. His overall message is solid, but this is about freedom. But I'm telling you, listen and get your pen out.
What we need to understand as well, structure creates discipline, and discipline creates healthy human beings. People require structure in order to be healthy. Having no structure is one of the most unhealthy things that you can do to a human being. Same as to the dog. If you allow a dog to do whatever it wants, whenever, so basically it's what's called when you humanize a dog, and you give it no dog boundaries based on an understanding of the boundaries that a dog needs in a pack environment in order to be healthy. When you allow a dog to do whatever it wants, what happens to it? It becomes anxious, aggressive, or very nervous. And when a dog becomes anxious, aggressive, or nervous, it starts misbehaving, and everybody blames the dog, but nobody blames the human being that allows the dog to do whatever it wants. And in order for a dog to be healthy, it requires structure, it requires order, it requires hierarchy. And human beings, when they have no structure, they become very unhealthy. Because if a human being has no structure, what will they do? They'll eat what they want, they'll drink what they want, they'll do what they want, and they end up doing something. One of those two, or all of those things together combined, creates disharmony and creates an unhealthy environment.
I have this thing where I'm not sure if I want discipline or freedom. So sometimes I'll let the discipline slide and I feel great for a few days and then it just goes bad.
Yeah.
Because I have no discipline. So have you dealt with this?
Yes.
And
Yes.
what did you?
100%. I'm a recovering drug addict, so I understand firsthand that my desire for freedom led me down the path of drugs at an early age, because I wanted to do whatever I wanted and I couldn't be told. And the very thing that I wanted created all of those issues. And in order for me to have freedom, do you know what the ultimate key to freedom is? Structure and discipline. Because structure and discipline creates freedom. But unfortunately for most of us, we don't associate structure and discipline as freedom. We see structure and discipline as an inconvenience, as an obstacle, as something that we're being forced to do.
On a day when you're very tired and your discipline says for get up at 5 or whatever, and you feel like you're not free, well, how do you deal with that?
Do it anyway.
Yeah.
Get up at 5, do it anyway. Because it's the habit. The habit will, structure and discipline creates habit. The habit sets you free. Okay, structure means this is what I have to do when I have to do it. Discipline, this means I force myself, focus myself, ensure that I get it done. After 62 days, roughly, it's now a habit. Now that it's a habit, you do it unconsciously, you're now free.
Okay. Yeah.
That's the magic. Everybody wants to have the freedom, but no one's willing to put the structure around themselves and apply the discipline that's required in order to be set free.
Is that true?
Man, that's good stuff. Never thought of it that way.
Who's that?
I'll send it over to you. His name's Kerwin Ray.
See,
KERWINRAE. And that's why I'm telling you, these are YouTube videos that's free 3 minutes instead of listening to the same song that you've already heard 400 times.
your life has already changed with that information, and there's a plethora of stuff out there.
But you have no idea.
And I just can't help but think, and I gotta change this way of my thinking. But the minute I see something like that's out there's a whole world of people with knowledge and wisdom who have attained things in life, who are giving back to people so we can watch it. Mm-hmm. And I'm made to feel guilty by someone sitting at a pulpit saying, "Oh, you need to only get it from either me or limit it to the perspective you've been given about who God is through His Word." Mm-hmm. When God's Word is through everyone who's speaking with wisdom and knowledge. It doesn't have to say 1 Corinthians chapter 3 to be God's Word. If God is living in His creation, any wisdom that comes out of that creation is God.
That's true.
So you got to
it like that too.
Yeah, it is God. Even though you may have their personalities about them, something that comes out of them that says, man, that makes so much sense. I never thought about it. That was God coming out. We don't
What's your last name, David? I'm sorry.
Miranda.
M-I-R?
Yeah.
What? Is that your right?
Yeah, that's right. That's what there was some people like Miranda, like the Miranda rights.
Sorry.
If I don't, they eventually will just be like the Miranda rights. Yes.
So
but the structure is...
Yeah.
I thought that's it, man. I'm trying to tell you that there's so much stuff out there. Really, turn off your radio and turn. It's amazing what is on YouTube. It's just amazing.
This is fuel for you to help keep that momentum of those positive thoughts in this journey that you're on. And so you got to have that fuel. Guess what this is?
The rocks that they colored and put out on the
Gratitude rock.